Welcome to Your Good News. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. This is a show dedicated to nothing but things that will make you smile or at least help you find hope and faith in humanity. The world is a rough place, and sometimes we just need to share some of the good things that are going on, right? All right, so let's kick things off with a story about a police officer in Sartell. Now, officers face many things on any given shift, but for Steve Matthews, it appears to be babies. As Ken Erdahl explains, Officer Matthews has found himself in the right place at the right time on more than one occasion.
Parents don't generally choose police stations for a baby's very first social outing.
How are you guys?
But for Donovan Johnson and Tasha Allstott, this is really a 3-day reunion for their daughter.
This says Patience.
Tasha says Patience seemed like a fitting name through her due date on Thursday. But then, on Friday morning,
I didn't want to believe that it was time. I was scared.
she realized Patience wasn't going to wait for the hospital, so Donovan called 911.
I wasn't too far away, so I was the first one there.
Officer Steve Matthews quickly realized how much that timing mattered.
Maybe 3-4 minutes and he was there.
I could tell as soon as he walked in that he was going to be the one catching the baby or delivering the baby.
Tasha also quickly realized the significance.
And I asked if he had done it before. That was my first question.
And I said, yes, I have.
Officer Matthews earned his first stork pin after helping deliver Delaney Rose Eaton in August of 2015.
It just all happened very rapidly. It was an intense moment, but it worked out well.
Delaney's mom, Barbara, was thrilled when we told her about Officer Matthews' second delivery a decade later.
I think he was the perfect person for that opportunity again. You know, in my experience, he was incredibly professional, calm, and just took charge of the entire situation.
Though his memory of it is slightly different.
That was a little more nerve-wracking. We go through first responder training and we do discuss those types of situations, but it's always the doom and gloom situation of childbirth. The first time that you do it, you think anything and everything could possibly go wrong, and then it doesn't, and and then it's okay.
It certainly is.
We're on spring break.
Hi.
Barbara and Delaney are doing great. So are Patience and Tasha,
It's a blessing.
thanks to Officer Matthews and 2 of his colleagues.
They definitely brought me comfort when I was really scared. And they were there when we needed them to be there.
Matthews says he's simply grateful he was in the right place at the right time.
So precious.
And he'll be happy to add another pin if called on again.
Little blessing. That's fine. I'll go for number 3.
Officer Matthews is the first to point out he didn't do this alone. Officer Adam Vandevred and Sergeant Matt Gray were right behind him and helped pull off the special delivery. Well, now to a story with a creative bent. At a time when arts funding is often the first thing on a school's budget chopping block, a St. Paul elementary school is finding a way to fill the gap. It's thanks to a muralist's generous donation. Sammy Salina takes us to Chelsea Heights.
Expression comes in the form of Legos,
Just this, prison mobile.
toys,
Monsters go in here.
and art
You can really express your emotions in it.
for the students at Chelsea Heights Elementary in St. Paul.
My favorite thing about art is definitely drawing, but sadly we don't have art anymore.
So you can imagine the reaction
But I still like to do it.
when they lost that.
Kinda sad.
The art program and the music program were cut just because enrollment went down.
Principal Guillermo Maldonado Perez says this art classroom used to be full of kids before they lost their program last year.
It was very devastating.
The Parent Teachers Organization says art belongs.
We immediately came together and had a meeting, broke into small groups, and tried to figure out what can we do.
Roxy Hoda and Rebecca Walton lead the groups.
Someone on the arts committee posted an ad.
It was very cute, yeah.
Audrey Carver, a Minneapolis mural artist, responded.
An elementary school that I went to didn't have arts funding either, but we had an art program that was run by local community volunteers, and so I was like, oh, this is my chance to pay it forward.
She donated her time and supplies.
Blue skies and trees.
Yeah.
And took ideas from the kids.
Mine was crystals and dragon.
Dragons didn't make the cut.
Why didn't you take of any of my ideas? She said, I tried to take ideas that were most contagious.
What caught on was a different message.
You belong here.
Yeah. That's what one of the girls said that she would want a new student to know in their first day.
The PTO and the principal wanted to ensure that diversity is being celebrated.
We can't control on what's going on a federal stage, but we can control what's going on in our community.
They wanted their kids to know everyone deserved to blossom here.
It's not like a taboo that we don't talk about race. We talk about it in a way that help you understand the differences and how those differences make it a good and a strong community.
They should not have their heart racing here, they're so nervous. They should really just be able to get to fit in here.
So while dragons may not belong at Chelsea Heights,
A couple of them were kind of upset that the dragons did not make it into the final.
they made sure art does.
It allows kids to express themselves and explore their cultures.
Sammy Solina,
I love art.
KARE11 News.
Okay, dragons aside, there are clearly good and kind and generous people out there doing amazing things. Okay, let's talk some sports. This one is about a Minnesotan who went viral for the most Minnesota of things. Travis Boyd, who plays hockey for the Iowa Wild, got the call to play up at the beginning of the season. And like a scene out of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, this young man wasn't going to let a snowstorm or a traffic jam stop him from getting to the game.
The crisp air inside a rink as you're gliding on the ice. It's enough to make hockey players feel right at home. For number 72, he is home.
Hopefully I can find a role on this team and be up here for good.
Travis Boyd has spent the year in Iowa on Minnesota's AHL affiliate team.
Never in a million years would I imagine that was the route that I was going to have to take.
When he got the emergency call to suit up for the Wild, he didn't just head north on 35. He took 3 different flights in 12 hours to get over the border to Calgary.
Landed right around noon Calgary time for a 2 o'clock start, so got our bags around 12:30. Got right into a car, headed right to the rink.
A snowstorm caused a gridlock with game time approaching.
Honestly, didn't 100% know if I was playing.
So Travis made a play.
Wearing a suit and dress shoes that had no traction, carrying a bag, it was pretty funny.
The internet thought so too. One of the most Minnesotan entrances to a hockey game ever seen.
And by the time I got into the locker room, I had about 14 minutes to get out of my suit, into my gear, and on the ice for warm-ups. Jog through the traffic was a little bit of my dynamic warm-up for the game.
A wild debut for the Wild. The once Minnesota Gopher standout, though, has found a lot of success in the league, winning a Stanley Cup. But with the highs have also come the lows, spending his final season with the Arizona Coyotes sidelined with an injury.
Last year was a tough one. I ended up getting hurt really bad in November and having to get surgery and didn't play again the rest of the season.
And when the team went to Utah, Travis went to Iowa. Meanwhile, his family staying in Minnesota.
All things considered, since training camp, I've continued to feel like I've been improving every day and every week. Obviously, getting a call up here and getting a chance to play for the Wild is a huge morale boost.
Sometimes the wildest journeys can lead us right to where we need to be.
Childhood dream come true to be able to play, and hopefully there's many more games to come.
Our thanks to Morgan Wolf for that story. Now, Travis has been called up one other time this season. It was much smoother the second go-round. Coming up, Cat's Coffee and a World War II vet getting a much-deserved but surprise honor. But first, here's some of your good news that you shared with us this week. Sue Anderson says our beautiful daughter Cynthia married her forever love John this past weekend. Meet the Clausens. Congratulations,
Happy
you two.
day.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Colleen Nelson says this is my 91-year-old mom, Mary Ann, and our 16-year-old dog, Belle, celebrating St. Patty's Day. Mom was pretty sick right after Christmas, so it is so great to see her feeling so much better indeed.
Dressing the part, too.
And looking gorgeous to boot, right?
Wow.
Look at that. Just stunning. And Lori Ann says, went to the state capitol for Disability Day. Advocate, advocate, advocate. That's right. Stick up for what you believe in,
That's right.
no matter what it
Gotta
is.
do it.
Welcome back to Your Good News. Let's kick off this segment with a little pick-me-up. Kent Erdahl has more on a coffee cart program at Shakopee High School that is having a big impact on some special students.
After losing an hour of sleep this week, Shakopee High School staff were thrilled. to get a hand-delivered pick-me-up.
We got a caramel cold brew.
Let's go to the main office.
A little pick-me-up
Best service ever.
dropped off at their desks.
The coffee's delicious.
Special education life skills students
She wants an iced latte.
have been the baristas,
Future is right here.
fueling this brewing little business.
We do make a mess a lot.
That was close.
We get a hang of it.
They certainly are.
Fold just a little bit in there.
Teacher Alex Elf encouraged the kids to branch out this year,
Let's go, Miss Walker.
taking orders around the school on Wednesday
Yeah.
Paper towel.
before making drinks and delivering them on Thursday.
They're implementing what they're learning in their math classes,
She had to get like 2 more to get a free drink.
in their reading classes as well.
Fill the cup with ice.
It's also a pretty meaningful icebreaker at a pivotal time.
They will be graduating soon. A lot of our students are working on their social skills.
So how many more dollars do I owe you?
Ask them, and it's clear that work is paying off.
You are able to walk around and ask people stuff.
If I don't know them, I can ask them what their name is.
The coffee cart concept actually began at 2 different Shakopee elementary schools a few years ago. But since adopting it, the high school students have certainly put their own spin on it.
Here's your donuts.
Thanks, Michaela.
You're welcome.
They are in charge of most everything. So Mini Donuts was their idea. We've never done a food item before.
They've also added a lot
We got smoothies, we got pink drinks.
of new cold items, thanks to some serious R&D.
They did some test runs even before they went. They did like a soft open. They came with little sample cups for us and stuff at the beginning.
I know I usually go with the iced coffee, but let's do a smoothie this time, okay?
Okay.
We were finding smoothies were super popular. Decided as a group, hey, let's use some of our coffee money. Let's buy another blender.
It's a lot of money.
Though they've clearly
5,
found the right formula,
30.
the true value of this program
$50.
can't really be quantified,
And we got more in the classroom.
at least right now.
I think of the future when I could see them having the opportunity to start their own coffee cart.
Yep, you're right.
I want to be work at a coffee shop. I'm learning a lot from here.
Hazelnut and vanilla. Yes. Amazing, guys.
We want our kids out in the community and getting these connections and use their skills that they're learning in school.
Consider it priceless experience with an extra shot of joy.
To see their faces coming in here all excited, and it's the highlight of our week, and I think it's the highlight of theirs too.
A Minnesota World War II veteran celebrated his 102nd birthday recently, and our cameras were there to capture an incredible moment when the vet received a new military honor to mark the occasion. Gordon Severson has his story.
Thank you so much for joining us for the birthday of Tech Sergeant Donald Halverson, who's turning 102 today.
To reach 102 years old is a major accomplishment for anyone. Happy birthday to you. Especially for someone like Don Halverson.
The big 102.
Who was deployed to Italy during World War II and led his own platoon at just 20 years old.
Had 3 machine gun squads, 6 in each squad, and a couple of staff sergeants. And I didn't have no officer to argue with.
Halverson fought in several battles and lost many soldiers as they moved across Italy.
When I landed in Italy, I didn't think I'd make 21.
Halverson says he spent nearly 2 years sleeping on the ground, going without a shower for months at a time, until he heard the words he long waited to hear.
That was the best day of my life when we hit the Swiss border and the captain hollered out the war was over.
He returned home to Minnesota a few months later, got married and had 3 kids. An honorable life, worthy of a special award.
Now, we have a little surprise for Don today.
A gift he never expected, the Medal of St. George Bronze Medallion.
Tech Sergeant Halverson, please receive your knighthood.
Recognizing his leadership and service to his country. Proving that even after 102 years,
I didn't know nothing about this here.
life is still full of surprises. Gordon Severson, KARE 11 News.
Don still drives his own car nearly every day. Remember, he's 102. He says his favorite hangout spot is the local VFW, where he likes to eat dinner and spend time with other veterans. Okay, here's a story about 2 things you wouldn't think go together. In the waiting room at Turbo Tim's Automotive, you won't find old magazines. As Audrey Russo shows us, you'll find something a bit more furry.
Before an engine can purr, you have to make a lot of noise. Tune in to Turbo Tim's, and you'll hear the constant tune-ups of their most prized fleet.
He's our show kitty.
The waiting area of their St. Paul location is a showroom for 7 pristine models,
Charlie is our most beautiful Bengal.
all on display
right here.
to ease the worries of waiting for car repairs.
I always liked cats, and I had a lot of cats. It's stressful waiting for a car. You're not selling anything fun, so it's just good to have a cat around you, kind of just keep you calm.
Now, do you have a favorite? No, of course not. We love them all in their own special way.
Consider the cats alone.
You scared of that camera?
There's a reason Tim can't part with them.
Yeah, we love our cats too much. You'll see the hardest, gruffest mechanics. You'll see their soft side, and there's just something beautiful about that.
I'm working on this 2017 Toyota Tacoma. It was leaking power steering fluid, so I'm replacing the steering rack. When I heard about this place, I was kind of shocked that you could work with cats. And I just feel like anybody who has cats in their business is just good people. So I love it.
Working on cars can be stressful at times, and it's really nice to come up and just relax with a cat, bond.
If the test drive inspires you to adopt, Tim can steer you in the right direction.
We partner with Feline Rescue, and they're right down the street from our shop, so we'll send people down there.
It's a smooth operation with a reliable lineup.
And purrs like a kitten. It works pretty perfect. I couldn't go any other way without having cats. They're part of our family.
I love all the puns there, the cat puns. All right, still to come, a high school senior picture that brings up layers of connection in a Minnesota town. But first, here's some more of your good news that you shared with us this week. Nancy says, I'm able to walk again after full tears of my ACL, MCL, and PCL in October. Yeah, right? Grateful for the team at TCO. Shout out to Dr. Hess and PTs Julie W. and Brian S. Go get it, girl. Climbing those stairs, too, no less. That's awesome. John Knox sent in this photo. J.D. Hoyt's, one of our happy places. Then 10 minutes later, Lori Hill sent in this photo. J.D. Hoyt's, my happy place. And I'm like, wait a minute, do you two own the joint? No. Turns out John and Lori are married, and they both clearly love J.D. Hoyt's. And apparently it's also a family affair because their daughter often joins them as well. So cool. That's their good news. And great-grandma Linda Odlin is super proud to show off Henrik, who is 4 months old. That is such a cute baby. Congrats to you guys.
Very cool.
I love that. Welcome back. Well, we all love good news. Someone here lives and breathes it. Boyd Huppert is our resident storyteller. He has won more awards than any of us can count, and they use his work to teach journalism students around the world. That is not an exaggeration. And if you watch KARE 11 at all, you already know he has a series called Land of 10,000 Stories. We want to share a recent story he did about a photo shoot in Halleck, Minnesota. It involves a hockey standout who helped pull off a unique play to honor the memory of his grandfather.
Hockey in Halleck is hallowed history.
It's deep. It goes back through many generations and many families.
A tradition that Jamison Turner embraced early.
He was skating before he was walking.
I would say, yeah.
Justin and Jamie.
Yeah, holding Dad's fingers.
Introduced their son
in this building
to his home when he wasn't at home in his hometown, 20 miles from the Canada border.
Once I could figure out how to skate a little bit, he gave me a stick and a puck.
His first steps in the footsteps of his grandpa.
He was a goalie, yep.
This is the sweatshirt he wore.
The same shirt Kim Turner was wearing in this picture holding Jamison. Less than a year before Grandpa Kim was gone.
He was killed in a car accident, yeah. And 51 years old is what he was. He was the mayor of Halleck, and it was a dang tragedy. The whole city felt, I think, the same.
Which meant Kim Turner missed his grandson also becoming a goalie.
Lubinski centers one. It's saved by Turner.
And not just any goalie.
Save. Popped up, and it just goes over the net off the pad of Turner, who has now made 37 saves in this game.
That was the 2000 mark. Yep. That was when he broke 2,000.
2,000 saves, plus 199 more after, still waiting to be verified as a state high school record.
He's here when that stuff's happening.
Which helped.
For sure.
Give Justin an idea.
I took the picture sitting right here.
Jameson at his locker with a visitor.
They're having this conversation, grandpa and grandson. It turned out exactly the way I had hoped it would, I guess.
Lauren Youngren was the right photographer for the job.
I was a goalie too, Halleck High School here.
Goalie.
I've always seen the picture of him. He's in an old locker room.
The post-high school Town League photo of Kim Turner.
Just sitting there in the locker room.
Justin sent to Lauren.
Yeah.
Not even knowing who took it.
My dad actually took that photograph of Kim. So there's another generation involved in this story too.
Lauren's dad shot Kim holding a cold Pabst.
But I am holding a Diet Coke. I'm not holding a beer.
It is, after all, a senior photo.
That would get me in trouble.
That's the conversation you hope they could have had.
Tradition.
These pads right here are Kim Turner's.
Passed from grandpa to grandson.
Pretty neat.
Passed on.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And living on.
He's here.
Boyd Huppert, KARE 11 News.
Pretty cool.
Halleck.
Small towns are pretty amazing, aren't they? Jameson is still weighing his school options after graduating, but he told Boyd that he would definitely like to continue playing hockey, just like his grandpa did after high school. All right, let's take a final listen to some of the good news that you've shared with us this week. Marsha Weber sent this in when it was a little bit colder out. She says, Archie knows how to keep warm on a Minnesota cold night. Going, gone. He just kept creeping into the blanket a little bit more. Good boy. Corey says the annual Buck Hill Pond Skim Party took place on Saturday. Over 100 skiers and boarders made their best attempt to skim across the icy pond. Great vibes on a beautiful spring day to wrap up the season.
Cool costumes too.
Prince making his debut on the board there. And Doris Rubenstein says, I've been a volunteer with Veep Food Shelf since 2013. So I was thrilled when they chose me to write the history of the organization to mark its 50th anniversary last year. The book is finally out, and I could not be happier with the result of my hard work. Thanks to all of the wonderful Veep volunteers who helped with this project, as well as all of the Veep volunteers from Richfield, Bloomington, and Edina. There will be a formal book launch party next month at Veep. All the proceeds from the sales of the book go to support Veep's food and social service programs. Thanks for joining us for Your Good News. If you'd like to share your good news with us, we want to hear it. We do it every day at the end of our 4 p.m. newscast. You can just send an email to yourgoodnews@kare11.com and be sure to add pictures or video of whatever you'd like us to share. A new baby, granddaughter got married, maybe you beat cancer, or hey, maybe you just shared some good times with good friends. We still want to hear about it. All right, until we see you again, have an excellent week, friends.